I started riding a few years ago and I really, got used to gathering data to help me gauge my performance and improvement. I love the fact that I had a fairly substantial database of my rides, routes, and performance. So when I decided to use a folding bike to travel, I realized quickly there's really no way to install some of the sensors, specifically my Cadence sensor. I wanted to stick to the Garmin bicycle computers I have been using. So I tried to figure out how to get my Garmin Cadence sensor to work. The sensor is typically mounted to the bottom bracket of a regular frame, and it's designed to measure both wheel speed and cadence. But with the design of the Bike Friday frame, it kind of posed a few kind of problems. There's just no way you can position the sensor on the bottom bracket so that the sensor reads both wheel speed and cadence at the same time. I mean, they were just not designed to work together. It really wasn't a real big game breaker for me because I was using a GPS bicycle computer, and I know I could gather, my speed via GPS, but the problem was where and how do I get my cadence to work? So I figured it out, so I wanted to share that with you. What I came up with was to mount the cadence sensor on the seat posts. I decided to mount the cadence sensor vertically instead of horizontally to match the crank movement and the sensor. There was a threaded screw on the frame that I used to mount the bracket. It was a matter of figuring out the actual shape and size of the bracket so I could get the sensor to read the magnet I installed on the crank. There was a slight problem with the mounting of the magnet and the crank because how close the brake was with the crank spin. I was able to locate the magnet so I could clear the brake. It was tight, but I got the clearance to work. I made an extra long bracket because I only had one screw to hold the sensor down. So having an extra long bracket, when I tightened the screw, the longer bracket would actually contact the frame and create an additional tension point to help the bracket not move. So all in all, I hooked up my computer, looked at my cadence sensor, started cycling, and lo and behold, I was getting my cadence. So I was quite excited about that. Anyway, right on.